Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. This is Brock Reflect just my review of Shazam. So, last night when I saw Shazam, what it's about, it's an adaptation of classic DC and formerly Fawcett comic? Or no? Time? It's an adaptation of a character currently owned by DC Comics. Young Billy Batson, having been granted the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, the stamina of Atlas, the power of Zeus, the courage of Achilles, and the speed of Mercury by the wizard Shazam, must face off against Dr. Thaddeus Savannah, who has become a living vessel for the seven deadly sins. Some quick opinions, fun, lighthearted popcorn flick. And hopefully an indication the direction of DCEU is kind of moving in, mainly getting the tone right for various characters. I'm not saying every DC movie needs to be lighthearted like this, but get the know the character. But hell, tone wise, this actually kind of makes a lot of the Marvel movies look as dour as the Nolan Batman movies. Anyway, so as for the cat who was in the movie, we got Asher Angel and Zachary Levi as Billy Batson and Shazam. Young orphan granted superpowers by a wizard. Longtime foster child who has a habit of running away, usually to search for his biological mother. Mark Strong plays Dr. Thaddeus Savannah, scientist obsessed with finding a way into the Rock of Eternity after having visited as a child. Jack Dylan Grazer as Freddie Freeman, Billy's foster brother and roommate at the group home, nerdy disabled superhero enthusiast. Jimon Honshu as the Wizard Shazam. Last of the Council of Wizards, trying at the beginning of the movie, he's trying to find a champion to pass his power on to. Yeah, that pretty much sums up the wizard there. Grace Fulton as Mary Brumfield, Billy's foster sister, kind of the den mother at the group home. Also, Andy Serkis provided motion capture work for the Seven Deadly Sins as well. Alrighty. Now for the spoiler-free breakdown of the film. We open up in 1974 with young Thaddeus, with the Savannah family driving along, and suddenly Thaddeus ends up in the Rock of Eternity, where he's tested by the Wizard Shazam. He fails the test and is sent back to the car while trying to figure out how to get back there. Simply, just figure out, well, if I just open the door, and arguing, he ends up leading to a wreck, which disables his father. Then it fast forwards a little bit further on to the more recent past. We see Billy and his mom end up getting separated during a carnival after she wins a compass for him, so he can always find his way. And then finally we get to the present. Philadelphia. Billy has duped a couple of cops so he can access the computer in their car in an attempt to find his mother. He pursues the lead, which doesn't pan out, and is taken to child services, where he's told that yet again another foster family doesn't want him back, but basically his last chance is a group home. So, sent to the group home, run by Rosa and Victor Vasquez, where he meets the other foster children, they have Freddie Freeman, who will be his roommate there, Mary Bromfield, Darla Dudley, Eugene Choi, and Pedro Pena. Like I said, his housemates. Meanwhile, Savannah manages to make his way back to the Rock of Eternity, where he frees the 7 deadly sins and becomes a vessel for them. After returning from the Rock of Eternity, Savannah does the board at his father's company and has the sins kill them. At school, Freddy's bullied by a couple of kids until Billy steps in, leading to Billy kind of running. It's more he's running from them. He just doesn't necessarily go back immediately. While he ends up on the subway, which leads to him being, and much like with Savannah, things get kind of weird, and then the door opens, and he's in the Rock of Eternity. At this point, Shazam's actually kind of injured from from fighting the 7 deadly sins and Savannah. But the wizard ends up passing on his power to Billy, also explaining why he's chosen a child. By basically explaining the origin of a villain who is not in this film. So anyway, Billy says the name Shazam, and suddenly he is a muscle-bound adult, and he's just, oh wow, look at this. But he doesn't know how to get back to his his teenage self. But he goes back to the group home and enlists the help of Freddy, who knows at least something about superheroes, and try to figure out what his powers are and how to do the whole superhero thing. But we get a whole lot of bits of Freddy filming Billy for YouTube and posting up. Each time you got a different code name for Billy. Eventually, Billy just trying to profit off of his powers, which ends up, in the long run, causing a bus to almost crash. However, Billy manages to catch the bus, though he and Freddy have an argument, and then Savannah appears and demands that Billy transfer his power to him. This leads to an extended fight through Philadelphia, which ends with Billy at a mall with Billy saying Shazam and reverting, as he's figured out now that if he says Shazam, he reverts back to his teenage self. But he reverts back and escapes in the confusion at the mall. Well, at that moment, Freddy's trying to find him, and Savannah recognizes Freddy from the news, so 2 and 2, So anyways, Billy returns to the group home, gets quite the talking from the Vasquezes. During this time, the kids figure out that Billy is Shazam, and also it turns out that Eugene, having gone through the notebook that Billy had on him when he first came to the group home, has managed to find his mother and give him the information. So Billy runs off to go meet his mother. However, after the reunion, Billy learns that his foster family has been taken prisoner by Savannah. So he leaves her home and turns into Shazam, and Savannah has figured out how to re-enter the. After all, as Savannah has figured out how to re-enter the Rock of Eternity, he does so and brings Billy with him. Now you can transfer your powers, because if you don't, I'm going to kill your family. But his foster siblings come to his aid, and they manage to escape the Rock of Eternity with Savannah and the Sins close behind. And they end up at a Christmas carnival, which leads to the final battle between Billy and Savannah, as well as the Sins. Anyways, and that there is also a mid-credits and post-credits scene. So, ups and downs of the movie. The tone is actually really pretty perfect for the source material. It's lighthearted when it is mostly lighthearted, but you've got points when it knows when to be serious, basically. It's actually really well cast. I'm not just talking about Angel Asher, Zachary Levi, and Mark Strong, but also all of the foster kids are really, like I said, well cast. It's actually really well paced. Moves along at a good speed. It never really feels like it's dragging. Basically. Also, the effects for the Seven Deadly Sins look really good. Now, of course, those visual effects look good, but not all of them are great. A lot of the flying shots with Mark Strong look very poorly done, very poorly finished up. Kind of an obvious CGI is obvious kind of thing, you know. And there are a few story elements which are very clearly telegraphed from the get-go. Anywho, overall, I think it's a fun and generally lighthearted superhero popcorn flick, and if you're digging superhero movies, I recommend going to see this one. For the rating, I'd have to say 3.5 out of 5. That sounds about right. Anyway, as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to... if you like, as well, comment. Links to Facebook, Twitter, and Patreon and Switch box down below. Hit the bell icon to be notified when I put new content. And as always, this is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.